What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to take a closer look at the Xtool P2 Riser Base. So we'll talk about why you would want one, how to put it together, and we'll even do a couple of projects with it on there. So stay tuned. So as always, Xtool does a really good job with their packaging. So obviously you open up the box right off the bat, you've got your manual. We'll take that, put it over here, and just look at what's going on. So all of the individual parts, really nice and tight in all of this foam. It feels like all of the parts to this are actual metal. It's not just plastic. So I think that's good because, I mean, Xtool P2, it's not light. So you're going to want something sturdy to really hold that together. So we'll get all these parts out of the box and then go through, kind of how to put it together. We can do a quick look just at the manual to get an idea. So open this up, and I feel like Xtool does a pretty good job with very little words on how to get everything put together. So they give you a list of all the parts, and then they start going through all the assembly process, saying what you need, what it looks like, how to put it together, and so on, just kind of as you progress through this. So let's get everything out of the box. All right, so first step here, I want to point out, like, Xtool has been, they've always been really good about making sure if this is the first laser that you have, you've got the tools that you need to put it together or to maintain it. So they included a little screwdriver that also doubles as your Allen head. So that's all there for you. But we're going to start off, we're going to go and we're going to look, we're going to start on the left-hand side. You got the left corners, left side panel, and you got 4 of these M4 screws. One thing I did notice, the difference between the left side panel and the right side panel is there's these little nubs on the different panels. So we'll take a look here. So no nubs, little nubs. These are left side. So we're going to start with this. Your left corners are smaller than your right corners. So we're going to start with these guys. Get this one out of the way. And this is what we're going to put together first. All right, so we got this first side panel put together. Really, it's just the corners. You've got a screw here, screw here, screw there, screw there. You put those two together. That side panel is done. So now we're moving on to the next part. So we've got this little support block here, and then there is the actual rails where kind of like the guides will sit on to raise up and down where everything sits inside the machine with the riser. So that's going to go on next with that support block, and we've got 2 of these little M4 screws. All right, so now that we've got this support block put on there, just a quick note, make sure that you see that there is a foot basically for all of these. So make sure that the foot's down and can touch your table or whatever top you're using. Same thing here, there are feet. So that's how you know that you're facing the right direction. So there you go, got those. Another thing to notice that there is a left and a right side to these rails. So the lettering or the numbers comes towards the front. So this is the right side, that is the left side. Make sure that you set them up and attach them appropriately, because now next we're going to attach that part to the left side with, I believe we've got 6 of these M4 screws that are going to attach that to the left side. All right, so with the left side assembled, we're going to move on to the right side, which is very similar, other than looking on here, the right side with the little pegs that are sticking out of the side of this panel here, it makes it so this is like more like a door. So we're going to start off, we're going to get our right corners, the right side panel, set those together, and then we're going to move through putting in a couple of support bars, and then we'll put in a support block and those other rails so that will lift the platform inside the bed. All right, so we put the pin part in here, and just to show you, these magnets are pretty strong, but ideally this would fold down and then it just attaches to that magnet right there as it flips back up. We're going to put this little bar in here. There's 2 screws that go there, 2 screws that go in right here, same spot. So this bar just kind of sits in there more or less like that. This one, it does require these different screws. So the little cylindrical head, where the other ones are kind of a tapered head. So make sure you use the right ones on this. All right, so now with this support bar installed there at the bottom, we're going to basically repeat what we did on the other side with this rail here and a support block that goes on the back, basically on the back side of right here. Just using 2 of our screws. Yep, right here. So using 2 of our M4 screws that are the flathead. So that'll go right there. All right, so this right side is put together with the support leg. Now, same thing, we got to put this in here. There's 6 screws, so 3 on that side, 3 on this side. That puts this onto that right panel. All right, so now we've got the left side, the right side all put together. So the right side, you'll see now that this is all tightened up, this works as kind of like a little hatch, a little door there. So the next step is to put on the front and back doorways. So that way you can actually slide pieces through it and actually slide the shelf or the drawer in here to support the material going through it. So you'll see here, so there's a front plate, a back plate, and then a fixing plate that goes across the bottom. So you'll see this here, or actually across the top. So doors go on, this goes across the top, and we're going to go from there. Put those in with a couple of those flathead screws. All right, so to give myself a little bit more space, I set up another table. Running out of space over there, but eventually when this is all done, I'll be able to set it on top. So you'll have the base, and the P2 goes on top. So for these front and back panels, you will actually notice that there's one that is slightly wider than the other. So the slightly wider one is your front panel. So that'll go on the front, the other one goes on the back. So I actually had said before that these fixing bars or fixing plates went on top. Just looking from the pictures, I was wrong, looked a little bit closer. They actually go down in here and they fix right into place here on these corners. So same thing, this one right here will go there to here, and there's 1 screw on each end. All right, now with these bars in place, we've got screw there, screw there, screw there, and a screw right here. We have the last piece to put in, which is this back cover plate that goes right across the back here. That's this guy. And it has this little like rubber strip that actually comes in towards the front. So it sits more like that. So we'll get, I think there's 2 screws on each side, get that put in, and I think we'll be done. And then it'll be time to actually put it on top, put the P2 in its place. All right, so with everything put together, let's take a quick walk around and just see what it looks like. So this is the front. You've got this that drops down, and it has magnetic little ends here, there, and over there. So that holds itself up pretty good. You've got the left side. This is solid. You've got the right side. This opens up almost like a little storage area. The one thing that I was a little, I'm like, maybe the plate is just a little bit too high, or maybe it's, I don't know. This, you actually have to really push. It really pushes against this. And maybe it's designed that way for a purpose, less gaps for smoke and things to get out of. But yeah, so this is a little bit tight back here. But again, it's got magnets on this side and magnets on this side. This one looks like it might need a little bit of adjustment. I think that this can actually, I can loosen this up and slide it over so that way it's actually touching that plate. But yeah, so there you go. And now we will put the P2 on top. All right, so at a closer look, I did realize what I did. In the instructions where it said that the front was slightly, I thought it said longer than the back. It's actually this height. So the front one I had in the back one I had in the front. Switch those, and now this works perfect. So it slides right underneath the door, and you actually can push, and these little magnets on these specific corners, they pop out, so it's easy to open the door. Same thing on this side. So push right here. Oh wait, nope. Push right here, and it pops that out, and then you can close it again. All right, so next step, we got to get this on top of there. So we're going to take this, move it over here, take this off, put it on top, do all that fun stuff. But just pay attention. There's a spot for the feet. So it fits in here, and then the back foot fits inside the support block that you put on the back side of these. So again, front foot here, back foot right inside of that support block. So that's right here. That's where that back foot's going to go, is right in here. And then front foot lands in here, lands in here. All right, so there is the base, and there is the P2 on top. One thing that I did notice, it doesn't look like, it's not like a seamless, it doesn't like fit together nice, polished, there's gap. So it's not, don't expect that it's going to fit together and basically be like a seamless structure. It does have a gap on the side. But that being said, it was nice that I could put my hands in here and lift it on and my fingers weren't getting squished. Same thing on this side. Like, granted, this is your little doorway for storage, but now we can talk a little bit about why the heck would you even want one of these? So first off, let's go like this. Let's open this up, and you can see this is the normal height of the P2. So you've got your blades in here, your knives in here. We could take all those out. Okay, now with all those out, with all these out, you can see like here is the bed of the machine. And the way that the P2 is set up is you cut on the blades, cut on the knives, and then you can potentially engrave from the actual drawer of the machine. So now with the base on here, we could take this drawer out, and we've got all these different levels that we can set it at. So this gets you additional Z height in here so you can do larger objects. Because, I mean, if we go and we set this all the way down, to level 5, this tray in here, close the door. I mean, obviously you've got way more depth in here than you did before. Because this is where the drawer was sitting before. Now you're all the way down here. And obviously you can, set other heights so that way you can get other materials, other thicknesses. Honestly, I could fit a football in here. I could fit, something bigger that the laser head will then just kind of come over. It can adjust down and it can engrave on. So Z depth, number one, why you would want one of these. To consider other things, obviously the P2 has the potential of a conveyor attachment, so a pass-through. So ideally, you could leave this open. You could pass materials through it. I do have the conveyor, and I will be making another video, so look out for that. I'll put that in this video as a card up above when it's done. But yeah, so using the conveyor, you could actually feed material all the way through it like you've seen in all the commercials. So that way you can do kind of like an infinite, essentially. It's the width of the machine, but infinite pass-through. So that's another reason. Okay, last reason, which I feel like is probably more common for most people, is to use a rotary. So I have the R2 Pro, and we'll be showing that as part of this video, that I'm going to throw the rotary in there and just show it working. I'll make another video to talk about the rotary, how to set it up, how it works. Again, find it in a card up here when it's there. But yeah, so the rotary is the other thing that you would want the riser base for, because without the riser base, obviously if the drawer is sitting here, there's no way you have enough room for the laser head to have clearance to actually do a tumbler. And I love tumblers. And so that's one of the things that I said to Xtool, hey, if you want me to test out this machine, that's one of the things that I need. So that way I can see what it can do. So there you go. There are the reasons that you would want it. So let's cut and let's show some things you can do with it. All right, well, there you have it. There is the P2 Riser Base and what its purpose is. If you need a little bit more space in your machine to get your projects done, to use a rotary, any of those type of things, the Riser Base is what you want. Granted, you could probably make some kind of base, but this already has the feature so that way you can move that tray up and down. It makes it really nice and easy, so go check it out. If you liked this video and it was helpful to you, I am an affiliate for Xtool. You can find a bunch of their links down in the description. I also have a variety of different Amazon links down there of different project pieces that I use, different materials that I use. So check those out in my Amazon store. If this video was helpful and you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so we can see you on the next one.